Hello everyone, I'm Dennis and this is a special quarantined update, the Silver Lining Evenings edition on Monday, May 20th, 2020. We're broadcasting from our rooftop studio here in Dragon City, Da Nang, Vietnam. This evening we are going to focus on positive stories and events coming out of these tough times. It's an unprecedented moment for humankind. Every corner of the globe is in this fight together. We'll begin with local news. Here in Vietnam, tech businessman Hoang Tuan An, in an effort to stick to social distancing directives and help his community, has begun setting up rice ATMs. The ATMs dispense 1 kilogram of rice at a time and are free to use. He set up the first ATMs in Ho Chi Minh City, but the idea quickly spread, and through just donations and volunteers, the ATMs have begun to sprout up all over the country. The lines in front of the dispensers are marked for 6 feet distancing, and each one is equipped with a hand cleaning station and hand sanitizer. It's a feel-good story. The photo app Agora held a fun 2020 contest this year. The winner was announced this week. Vietnamese photographer Tran Tuan Viet took home the $1,000 prize with his photo of 3 Vietnamese children playing with sticks and old bicycle tires down the dunes of the coastal fishing town of Winnie. Children often accompany their parents here to work, offering guided sand dune rides and fresh coconuts for tourists. The innocence in the picture is clear, as Tran explains that the children are very poor and know nothing of the urban comforts of the cities. He continued that the families work hard here but are always happy. Their joy comes from their simple games. Tran has donated his prize money to aid in Vietnam's fight for COVID-19. Also in Vietnam news, during the height of pandemic lockdown, this adorable little white rhino was born at the Vinh Pearl Animal Sanctuary and Safari on Phu Quoc Island in southern Vietnam. To offer support and as a gesture to all those who are on the front lines in the global fight and an optimism that the victory over this pandemic will be won, the park named the hungry little herbivore Winnie. She is very healthy, and the park says she is currently growing at a rate of almost 4 pounds a day. When visiting Thailand late last year, I heard tell of a man who builds simple yet almost luxurious underground dwellings deep in the jungles of the tropical nation. Though my time was too short there to discover the baffling builder, I was recently able to find the crafty craftsman known as Mr. Tifu. With nothing more than a couple of simple tools like a machete and large scraper, Tifu builds amazing domiciles by hand, complete with pools and bedrooms. If you need something to just amaze you for a few minutes, then head on over to Mr. Tifu's YouTube channel. Look for a link in this description. I got lost in several hours of his sped up videos. It can take Tifu sometimes 60 to 72 days to complete a site. Using only forest materials, he even paints the homes, puts in living carpet, and makes a plaster out of termite mounds to coat the pools and waterproof surfaces. I promise you, it's truly amazing. In international news, British World War II captain Tom Moore committed to walking 100 laps of his garden by his 100th birthday to raise money for the British National Health Service. Moore, 99, began the roughly 25-yard cycles last month with the help of his walker and completed his task last Thursday. A couple of weeks short of his 100th birthday on April 30th, his idea was to gain sponsorship for each lap and was hoping for a $1,000 donation total. But that was not to do. Community support began to grow, even piquing the interest of the Duke of Cambridge himself. On Friday, the day after he completed his final lap, Captain Tom Moore donated a sum equal to $30 million to the National Health Service. That's truly amazing. The Earth is taking a break too. Reports are coming in from all over the world of cities whose skies are clearing to levels not seen in some places for decades. With the world grinding to an absolute halt, cities like Los Angeles, Beijing, and Delhi are seeing skylines they've never seen before. I know here visibility in Da Nang is so clear on breezy days I can make out beaches on the grounds of islands some 10 miles off the shore. There are even reports that you can see the Himalayas in India, which hasn't been possible for over 30 years. With pollutant levels dipping everywhere, maybe there are some positive lessons we can learn through these tough times. Have a child unable to sleep? Disney, for a limited time, has reactivated its hotline at 1-8777-MICKEY Callers can select a special bedtime message for their little struggling sleepers. The call is toll-free, and until April 30th, you can have Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, or Goofy give your little ones some encouragement to fall asleep. Here in Vietnam, the expat community has banded together to offer our support to those on the front lines here, submitting photographs that thank our current adoptive nation for all that they are doing to keep us safe and healthy. With the Vietnamese phrase, Vietnam Co Lin, Vietnam, keep fighting. They have worked tirelessly and with limited resources to keep our infection rate to one of the lowest in Asia, and for that, we thank you. I suggest doing the same wherever you are, thanking those on the front lines, those risking the health of themselves and their families to make sure we eat, are safe, healthy, and have supplies. I also want to say a special thanks to Dan Goldman and his wife Carol, two of my favorite people in the world, and to the Cindys, Miss Jessies, Jerrys, Jeffs, and Gills. Back home in little old Covington, Georgia, we feed the less fortunate on the third Tuesday of every month. Even in these difficult times, they are still making sure people have a warm, nutritious meal. Albeit in a very different capacity than usual, we adapt and we survive. In addition, I would like to honor the volunteers who feed the populace, those who keep our food banks running, and care greatly about our communities. To all of you, I also say thank you. Compassion can often be the foundation of greatness. Look out for each other, take care of each other. Each other is all we have. I will leave you simply this evening with a quote from Anne Frank. A girl who sat through the ultimate quarantine and even in death never lost her faith. In her now famous diary, she said, and I quote, "No one has ever become poor by giving." May you rest in peace, Anne Frank, and may we all learn from her sacrifice. God bless you all, and to all a good night.